Modern culture treats waiting as a failure. We expect groceries delivered the same day, movies streaming instantly, and coffee handed in under 2 minutes. We have been conditioned to believe that speed is the only measure of efficiency. We carry this demand for same-day results into our spiritual lives, expecting the creator of the universe to operate at the pace of a fiber optic connection. When life moves slower than our 5-year plans, we experience a specific kind of panic. We stare at closed doors and unanswered prayers, treating the delay as a malfunction. This silence often leads to a predictable suspicion that God has forgotten the request or simply does not care. When we feel ignored, we are tempted to take matters into our own hands, to force the outcome we want. Treating providence like a vending machine creates a struggle over authority. It reveals that we want the benefits of a relationship with God without respecting His authority over the timeline. The historical record of Abraham and Sarah serves as a warning of what happens when we refuse to wait. Exhausted by a decades-long delay, they attempted to manufacture God's promised blessing through their own efforts. By forcing a harvest out of season, they created a conflict that lasted far beyond their own lifetimes, resulting in generations of historical tension. There is a different path found in the records of the Persian Empire. It centers on an exiled Jew named Mordecai, who demonstrated how to act with integrity while the clock seemingly stands still. While working as a low-level official at the king's gate, Mordecai uncovered a deadly assassination plot. He reported the conspiracy, the assassins were caught, and the king's life was saved. Despite saving the throne, Mordecai received no reward. His deed was jotted down in a ledger, and the book was closed. He went back to his seat at the gate, ignored and unthanked. A delay in recognition is a strategic pause in a larger narrative. Mordecai remained faithful in the silence, unaware that his recorded deed was a dormant seed. Years later, when a genocide was planned against Mordecai's people, the king suffered a night of insomnia. He asked for the historical ledgers to be read, coincidentally heard the story of Mordecai's deed, and honored him the next morning. This single moment of timing saved the nation. This reveals a specific mechanic of providence. God banks unnoticed obedience to be used at the exact millisecond it is needed most. King Solomon observed that these moments aren't random. He argued that history moves through a series of deliberate, non-negotiable spiritual seasons. Mordecai's experience at the gate was not just a delay, it was a specific phase in a larger cycle. This matrix maps the 4 seasons we all navigate: waiting, sowing, pruning, and reaping. Each season carries a specific pressure. We are tempted to rush the waiting, quit the sowing, grow bitter during the pruning, or become prideful once we reach the reaping. God uses these seasons to achieve objectives we cannot see. The delay builds endurance, the sowing establishes faithfulness, and the pruning removes what is no longer useful. The Apostle Paul likened this to a farmer. A farmer fights weeds and watches the weather, fully trusting the laws of nature even when there is no corn on the stalk. He works today for a harvest he cannot yet see. These seasons of preparation are absolutely mandatory. The delay shapes the character of the person as much as it prepares the weight of the blessing. How do we survive a prolonged waiting season without losing our perspective? The first step is patient faithfulness, doing the right thing when the results are invisible. The second is recognizing divine appointments, treating an ordinary Tuesday as a potential staging ground for a miracle. Next, we must trust that God's vantage point is wider than our own, potentially using a delay to protect us from a disaster we can't see. Finally, we must resist the fatigue that suggests the harvest is never coming. Relinquishing control provides a relief that striving never can. When we finally stop trying to manipulate the outcome, we are no longer responsible for managing the entire universe. Peace is found in the realization that God's timing is purposeful. He integrates every delay and every season into a single synchronized plan. Look at the one area of your life where you feel the most friction regarding time. This week, try a prayer of total relinquishment. Tell the Lord that you trust His schedule more than your own, and leave the timing in His hands.